we will start. Okay, and if you will have some questions, so you can leave it in a chat, because for me it's a bit hard to at the same time telling you something, explaining you these points and so on, and to see the chat. So we will do like this. I will start from the explaining of the whole presentation, right? You will send me all the messages there to chat. And then after I will finish, so I will go through all the questions which you have, and basically we will point them one by one, right? So welcome here, all of you guys. I think 1 minute and we're gonna start. Basically, thank you very much for visiting us here on the webinars. It was not very much recent webinars so far, at least from my side. But anyways, that's time to tell you something new and something really good and challenging this time, right? So basically, we can start from here. And today our main topic is basically Myers Smart Home. And Myers Smart Home is like a new ecosystem of the whole Partizan system. So we're gonna start, guys and girls and boys. I think you all are here. And before we start, I would like to tell some big word of support to our Ukrainian team. I wear the Ukrainian t-shirt today, just to show the support to our great team who is now in Ukraine in extremely hard conditions and an extremely hard situation, but they still keep working. Still keep delivering some IT products, some hardware testing and so on to all of you guys. So big respect to you guys. And really everything will be fine very soon, I hope. So that's about some, let's say, personal and inside Partizan topic. So I believe some of the guys from there are looking at us now, and really, I hope it will inspire them at least a bit in this hard situation. So we are starting this presentation. It will be about the Myers Smart Home System. Before it was a couple of devices only. Now it became like a whole environment, whole ecosystem and so on. So that's our main topic today, basically. For those who are not aware about what is Myers about, Myers is a sub-brand of Partizan. Basically, we divided this brand separately because we think that for the home users and the end customers, it will be more clear, because Partizan is like a more professional thing. It's like more dedicated CCTV and access control systems for the professionals, basically. And in fact, end customers not seeing and not touching them too much, because it's some cameras which are hanging somewhere. It's some NVR in some rack and something like that, right? About the Myers, it's something which is used by customers on a daily basis, and customers mainly. So that's why we decide to divide, we decide to name it separately. And basically, that's the whole game about the Myers. So it's a sub-brand which is connecting whole the systems about home appliances, home control, home automation, smart home, and so on, what is all about. So basically, this is the whole solution, like always, here at Partizan. All the devices we have and all the devices we are developing, they are combined all around the Partizan app. Because we think it's very convenient when you can control everything from the one place. And that's why the Myers systems, along with the Partizan systems, they all are compatible with the Partizan mobile applications. So here you can see and control everything you want from that. When we are talking about the smart home, here we have some idea behind what we are doing with the smart home devices. So we divided them to two parts: devices which is controlled by the Wi-Fi, and the devices which is controlled by the ZigBee protocol. I will shortly explain why, because Wi-Fi dedicated to some devices which is not expected to be a lot of units and a lot of pieces in one place. Why? Because everybody knows that the Wi-Fi is quite a heavy protocol. And when you start loading basically a lot of devices in the one place, which is consuming the Wi-Fi, it means you're going to have multiple Wi-Fi points, and it will be affecting of your Wi-Fi, which is normally used to get an internet and something like that. So we don't want that. And our internal policy is like that. So Wi-Fi, we're making those devices which is expect to be like one or few pieces only per some premises. For example, like a doorbell. So you didn't expect to use like 10 doorbells in the one house, right? So it's normally maybe one or maybe two or something like that. Same thing is with the garage or the gate barrier controller. So you didn't expect you have like 5 gates or 6 garages in one house, right? So it's only one normally, maybe 2, but not much more. So that's why all those devices are developed by us on the Wi-Fi basis. So what does it mean Wi-Fi basis? I will explain a bit later. And the ZigBee, all of them, they have a different basically architecture. So they expect to be used with a ZigBee hub. So ZigBee hub is like a common for the guys who are using the smart home for now. I do believe some of you are still here. And basically what is going on now is the ZigBee hub. They can connect up to 128 devices, which is powered by the ZigBee protocol. So it's internal protocol, which is basically connecting all these devices. And to explain a bit more, Maya's Wi-Fi smart devices are connecting directly to the app. So it means you don't need any third-party thing, any hub or any other device. So if you have a Wi-Fi network in your house with access to the internet, so that's all you need basically, yeah? So when you're installing the smart doorbell, the smart plug, some smart sockets, some smart camera and so on, so you just connect it directly to your mobile phone or tablet or something like that to our mobile app. So, and that's how it works. In case of the ZigBee, so the main point is the hub. So basically when you have a hub, so you can connect all the devices to this hub first, and then you connect this hub to the application, same way as you connect these Wi-Fi devices, right? And then using our application, you can see all the devices which is connecting to the hub. So hub basically is just collecting all the ZigBee devices. And the profit from this system and the profit from this scheme is that ZigBee is quite a low level protocol, which is not very much data consuming, and it doesn't affect your Wi-Fi network, and it doesn't affect basically your, let's say, privacy and security and something like that. So it's very hard to crack it, and even if you crack it, so you didn't have any data out there because you didn't have any keys and everything like that. So it should be encrypted. And basically, it works like that. Our hub, they have a LAN port, so you can connect this hub same way as you connect your Wi-Fi router, and then you are connecting to this hub by the Wi-Fi. So basically, it's like a triple system. So you connect some devices to the hub by the ZigBee, you connect this hub to your app by the Wi-Fi, and you connect this hub to the internet by the LAN. So that's how it works. It might sound a bit complicated, but once you have it in your hands, so it's not that much rocket science as it could be. Then, when we are thinking about how to create the smart home solution and how to create the smart home ecosystem, we start thinking about, people are not interested in some certain devices. So for them, it doesn't bring any big sense. So we think that people need kind of solution. So not the devices, but solutions, which can help them to make their life easier, which can help them to save some money, which can help them to get some important data to control the house, the premises, the office, the warehouse, whatsoever. So basically, we start thinking not like a product basis, we start thinking solution basis. And that's why this presentation will be divided by solutions. So the first one, of course, is the smart security solution, and the products, which is dedicated to be here and basically resolve some security issues which may be on the premises. When we're talking about the security, of course, it's the CCTV cameras first of all, because you all know the Partizan as a manufacturer of CCTV cameras for sure. So that's why we are starting the security from the CCTV cameras and so on, what is related to that. So here you can see the existing wire-free IP camera. It's a cubic camera, basically, which is powered by batteries. So you don't have to use a kind of power by the cable or internet by the cable. So it's the Wi-Fi, it's the battery camera, so you can use it whatever you want. But of course, you don't forget to recharge it. The new thing, which is to replace the existing cloud bullet, will be this new MBC bullet, which is absolutely wire-free and independent. So it will be supplied as an option with the solar panel, and it means you can use this camera without any recharge at all. So it means you can, of course, use this camera without solar panel and save some money for the customer. But if you're using with the solar panel, it means you never have to recharge it, because normally the solar panel can recharge it fully within 3-4 days, even during the winter time and so on. So this solution is really very powerful and very useful. That's why we basically start offering that now. And I do expect we're going to have this bullet camera next year, I think in first quarter, of course. And I cannot tell you like when it will be for sure, but I think it will be first quarter, the mid or end of the first quarter. So starting from that time, we're going to supply those kind of cameras there, and basically it will be a game changer for all the independent solutions in the systems. But hold on, the next camera will be PTZ camera with a 4G and with the same power supply from the solar panel. So this camera is even more powerful than the previous one. Why? Because you don't have to worry about not only the power supply, but also about the internet as well. So if you have a 4G SIM card put inside the camera, so this camera could work independently 100%. So on the remote places, on some, I don't know, in some wood, in some field, whatever you like. And when you have the 4G connection and the 4G signal, it can bring you all the ability to work with this camera absolutely independently. So this is the perfect match for some kind of remote controlling of the farms, of some big territories, of the borders, of some premises without the internet, of the construction sites, basically, because normally they didn't have here internet and power supply before the constructions is ready. So this is two new things, the bullet camera and the PTZ camera, which we do expect in the first quarter of the next year, and which I'm really glad to share with you about these devices. So I think it will be really hot selling products in our product range. So this is what we expect in this field. And of course, the famous and the well-known, the doorbell. So the doorbell also is the wire-free. So you can use it with the Wi-Fi. You can power it with the batteries, which is already inside. And of course, you can connect them by wires. So I know some of you guys are basically connect some wires to make it wired one, but still effective, and still it doesn't mean you have to stretch the wires from the doorbell directly to your house. So you just have to power up from somewhere nearby to the doorbell. So I will not point much on this doorbell, because I do believe the most of you guys are working with us already, and you know this doorbell for many years already. So this is the doorbell, also kind of security piece which we have. Of course, the accessory for the doorbell is kind of our chime. And next point, and the next group is basically smart electricity. The smart electricity by the Myers starts from the smart relay, also well known by all of you guys, I do believe. This is the smart relay, which can help you to control some electrical devices, electrical appliances, home appliances, and so on. It has 3 relays, basically. All of them are smart. You can put some event schedule. You can put some other solutions out there. It's really small. It's really efficient. You can power up it from the normal power supply or from the even power bank. And basically it has 3 modes, like inching mode for the locks, self-locking for the normal appliances, and interlock for some kind of barriers, automation gates, gateways, and so on, when you need some kind of delay, and basically it works like that. Now we have a new smart relay. It's the one relay, and the differences between the previous one, which have a 4 base, it have only one relay, but this relay is with the maximum power. Because if these 4 relays, basically these 4 relays, they have a 10 amperes maximum, each of them. So this one can supply and can be loaded with the 16 amps. So it means you can load here even some kind of a heavy solutions like air conditioning, some motors, some other things. So this one and could be also used as a, let's say, emulation of the smart socket. Because normally we face with some problems because there is a lot of different power sockets all over the world. So let's say in European Union only, it's kind of 3 or 4 different types of power sockets, right? And that's why it's a bit a problem how to supply them with the right sizing, with the right standard, and so on. So in this case, to our customers, we are offering use the smart relay and build into the basically socket box. And you can use the old and existing basically electrical socket as a smart socket, because you have an old socket, you have this smart relay module, and using this together, you can make this old socket smart, and you don't have to worry about the size, the standard, and so on, because it's also a lot of different old places, like in old hotels, like some historical buildings and so on, when you can replace something, but you cannot change something, right? So you can replace something from inside. So in this case, this smart relay is a really nice solution because it could be hidden, first of all. And the second one, it can make you the old premises a bit of more smart and modern, which is really nice, and which is good for the owners and for the US installers and the partners and the distributors. So this smart relay is coming already with the housing, which means you can save some money on the boxes, on the housing, and so on. And you can put this whatever you like, so inside the wall, on some mounting box or whatever. Smart plug, already existing product, which can be bought anytime you want. We already have a pretty much nice stock of them. So this smart plug, it's a nice solution for the European sockets. And basically, it can be managed in your electrical appliances as well. So it has a timer, it has a schedule, and the really important thing, same as this device basically. And by the way, it has a power monitoring. So it means you can see how much energy immediately used by some appliance or some devices connected to this smart plug. So especially it's important if you don't basically understand or don't know what is the power consumption of some of your devices. Because sometimes, you know, when you are trying to save electrical things and you are trying to save energy, so it's very important to see the real data. What is the real consumption comparing to some numbers which is like approximately shown from the manufacturer side? Because in our experience and in our world, we can see that basically a lot of data like that are quite different. So it's not even 10% difference comparing to the what they are stating on the boxes or on the devices itself. So sometimes it's more than 30%, in fact. So that is something to think about and to check about. Yeah. Now, the same solution, but for our UK customers, because all we know that in the UK there is a different standards, there is a different sockets, and the market is big enough. So we decide to launch this dedicated smart 2 outlet socket for the UK customers, because it's kind of a UK standard to have them 2, not only 1. And in this case, it's like a surface mount socket. It's not like a plug. So it means even if some customer doesn't want to have something stretching from the wall, so you are here and you can basically use this one as a solution, because it's like a surface mount and just normal and efficient substitution for every single normal UK socket. But this one is making them smart. So it has two independent sockets, basically. It has a USB, so you can charge some phones, tablets, and whatsoever from that side. And the same as the European socket, it have everything apart of the energy meter. So it cannot measure energy. By the way, for this moment, we are working with the new generation. It will be launched, I think, in the second quarter of the next year with the ability of the power calculation, like a power monitoring. So for now, it doesn't have the function of the power monitoring, but all the rest is there, like Wi-Fi connection, on-off timer, some schedules, and so on and so on. So the real smart socket with the two outlets and one USB. And now another smart device related to basically electrical appliances and electrical solutions, which is making your electrical system more smart and more controllable. This is the smart meter. So the smart meter is something which helps you to measure the consumption of the energy. So when you are connecting the smart meter to some power line or something like that, the first you can do is, of course, to measure how much energy consuming this power line. For example, you can connect the line which is dedicated to all the sockets in your house, and in this way you can see clearly how much energy consuming all your appliances which is connected to all your sockets. And this is quite important knowledge nowadays, because the price of the energy is instantly increasing, and nobody expects it will be decreasing heavily in the near time. So that's why it's good to know about the real consumption, again, the real consumption of all your home appliances, and then try to reduce the basically consumptions, avoiding some really greedy devices. Yeah. Also, this device can indicate some current state and some possible issues in your energy and electrical systems, because it has some small monitor, and a part of the application you can see the same on the physical device. So it has also schedule, on-off timer, and ability to control, of course, all the connection from the mobile phone. So it means it's not only measuring, but it also controlling the whole line. Yeah. And what is more important, it has a power on and off delay function. This can be basically a very important function for the internet service providers, because when you need to reboot some switches or some routers or something like that, so using this smart Wi-Fi meter, it can be done within a couple of seconds in a very easy way, because you just reboot it, set some delay, because you need to wait a couple of seconds or 1-2 minutes, and then it will be returning back energy and electrical system again, which is not possible, of course, if you don't have this kind of solution, because in other cases, if you will shut down the whole system, you will lose the internet connection, and it will be basically finished, because you cannot return it back. So this is the power meter. Now about the smart lighting. So the next solution is about the lighting, because we divided it from the energy, because the energy is like a general part, which is basically responsible for the electrical things and electricity in general. And the lighting is the more dedicated part of our life, of our houses, of our offices, and so on. And that's why this basically smart lighting is a really nice and important solution. This solution is about the smart light dimmer switches. So it's a different switches which basically are responsible for the controlling of different devices in your house, such as basically light control. So here you can see the downstairs, like how does it work? So basically you have some mounting box of your normal light switching, and here you put our device. And to that, you connect in these buttons, which is responsible for the lighting control. So what it brings to you, first of all, you don't have to rewire whole your house because of the smart home solution. Yeah. So normally, if you have kind of existing project or kind of existing premises, so it brings you like a really easy way how to jump into the smart home board, because otherwise, like competitors, let's say, or the classical smart home, it needs to be thinking about from the beginning of the construction, right? So if you don't think about your smart home from the beginning of the construction or the building of your house, so then it's extremely hard, it's extremely long and extremely expensive to make your house smart, because it means you have to rewire all your cables, all your connections, and blah, 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 so on and so on, right? So we know about that. And in our case and in our head, this is kind of market breaker, because if you think like, oh, come on, it's too hard, it's too expensive, I don't want it then. So you are losing the whole market, yeah? Because not all the people are really, really, you know, I cannot say smart, because it's not about the smart. So not all the people thinking about what they will need, like 2-3 steps ahead, right? So when someone is concentrating on the building of the house, the flat, or so on, so he is concentrating on maybe some other things, a part of the some comfort after the house or flat will be ready. And when the flat will be ready, so he will start thinking about some additional comfort. So he will think, hey, yeah, so I don't like this, you know, walking upstairs to press some light off if I forgot to press it off, or something like that. And he started thinking, okay, what is the solution then? And the solution is the smart home. And for the smart home, in this case, it's too late, because house is ready, flat is ready, done. But in case of Myers, we have this solution. So it means you don't have to rewire anything at all. So you just take off your existing switch buttons and connect our switch in between of the electrical system and these physical buttons. And moreover, we are like a part of the competitors, and comparing with the competitors, we're not forcing you to buy some existing or some you know, certain design of these switches of the buttons and so on, because maybe you need the gold one, maybe you need the black one, maybe you need the glass surface, maybe aluminum or something like that, whatever you like. So it's extremely easy now to go to any construction shop or to buy from electrical shop, whatever you like, as a basically physical finish of the whole system. And our part is the internal part, which makes the system smart. So it means you can control your light, in this case, by the buttons physically, and the same way from the application. So also with this smart light dimmer switch, which have 2 buttons, of course, you can connect only one if you like, but not more than 2. You can also control the brightness, because it has a dimmer function. And then you can also make on-off timer and so on and so on. So it's very easy and extremely nice and seamless solution, which is really friendly for any premises you have. So in worst cases, which you're already facing, you will have to increase the size of this back box. So because in some cases there is extremely small back box and there is no much space to put inside our module together with the wires, because the wire could be big, you know, and then you can remove this existing back box, make some bigger hole and put some bigger box. And in this case, that's all you need to do basically. But you cannot compare these small efforts actually with the pain in the ass if you have to rewire whole house, or at least the whole room or premises. So that's how it works, guys. The second one is the same like previous one, but without dimmer and with the three buttons control. So it means you can connect up to 3 button switches to this light switch we have. So no more, no less. And basically all the functions are the same. To make it more easy even, sometimes you don't want to have a mobile phone, or you don't want to have the physical button access in this place, and you want to have it in other place, right? Maybe you want to have some scenarios when you are visiting your home, when you're entering the door. So you have to light some different areas or different places. So the new wireless dimmer scene switch, which is coming soon in the first quarter of the next year. So it will be I think closer to the end, of course. So it will be, I think, early March or something like that. So this special scene switch is dedicated to make remotely ability of control of any of your devices. So first of all, this is the wireless button. So basically you can put it on your wall, on your table, on your furniture, whatever you like, right? And pressing this button, you are triggering some scenario of the light, right? So it could light up some certain areas. It could light up some certain lamps. It could light up some certain zones or whatever you like. So it will be kind of scenarios which is dedicated to this dimmer scene switch. And this dimmer scene switch, along with all these smart light dimmer switches, they are, of course, ZigBee protocol powered, because you do expect to have them many in your house. So normally, if you have a house, it's kind of a dozens of those switches every floor. They have a 5 to 10 or something like that, right? So that's why it's definitely ZigBee protocoled devices. Basically, with this wireless dimmer scene switch, you can control up to 20 smart lighting sources under my system control. So it means up to 20 zones or up to 20 lamps or up to 20 light sources can be controlled by this device in a combination, of course, with these smart light switches, because it's kind of a system when there is a scene switch or smart button, we can call it like that, controlling other smart devices from the Meyer source. And in this way, you are just link what should be done when you press in this smart button with those smart switches, right? Next point is the smart automation, guys. Smart automation could be some different meaning and different points for someone, but for us, smart automation is the first thing what you can think about, some controlling of the premises, right? So it doesn't matter if it's a private house or some warehouse or some territory zone and so on. So for that purpose and to resolve some issues which can be rising in this case, we have a smart relay. So smart relay, it's 2-on-2. It can control basically the gates and the garage gates, first of all. And they have 2 independent relays and 2 independent alarm inputs. Why? Because when you have basically your garage gate, so you have 3 positions actually, which can be seen here, like a gates closed is position number 1, gates in progress is position number 2, and the gates open is position number 3. And using these 2 independent alarm inputs, you can basically see where is your gates, right? So you have 2, for example, magnetic sensors up and down, yeah? So if the garage gate is closed, so the magnetic sensors which is down will be closed, and magnetic sensors which is upside will be open. So the system automatically will recognize that, and you will see the status like gates are closed. And the same when it's open, yeah? So upper ones will be closed and the down ones will be open. And same, you can see the signal gates open. And if the basically gates are stuck in between for some reason, which is quite often happen, so you can see the gate is in progress, because you will have 2 open contacts and the 2 open magnetic sensors up and down. And this relay will recognize the state and will basically give you the feedback like that. So it's one of the best and the hot seller for the moment in our smart home systems. And I didn't expect it will be some changes in the future, because people want some kind of information, some kind of a feedback from their existing systems. And this smart relay can bring this very easily and very clearly. So next one is the smart curtain switch. One of the problems on the basically premises that you don't have ability to control your blinds and your curtains, or if you want to control them, so you have to buy some expensive equipment, you have to pay for the application, you have to use either physical buttons or either some mobile application to control the blinds. So we faced with this kind of complaints from the customers quite often. And that's why we decide to make this curtain switch on the same principle as these light switches, which you can see here. And this is like a similar solution, same way as it was with the smart light switch, which is eco-friendly, which is customer-friendly, and which is construction-friendly. So again, if you have existing button system, you can put our switch in between of the existing buttons and the wire system which you have already there. So this device is same as ZigBee protocol powered, and also you can use them as a controlling, like open shades, close shades, make the rotation of the shade positioning. And basically what you can do more is like make some schedule, make some timer, make something, some scenarios later on related to the light source and the light level. Yeah, and I'm gonna show you some other device which we're gonna issue in the market on the later stages. So you will understand what is the profit from this point. And of course, you can control it manually with this remote controller. So it's like a basic remote controller, classical one, which is actually well known, and it doesn't have to be smart, and it isn't smart, but for someone it's like very convenient to use, and it could be used with the multiple curtain switches like that. So you can program some of them. Yeah. Now, very important and the painful point is the smart heating, because again, the prices and the bills for the electricity and for the gas are increasing like the rocket side, and all of us are quite well know that this is the point of additional expenses or the point of additional saving. It depends how do you manage it. So with our Meyer system, we are offering you to manage it smart way, and first of all to control it, right, to get the proper data, to understand what's going on, and then to manage this in the right way. Because if you don't know your consumption, if you don't know what devices are, eating how much, or what devices are doing what, or what is the heating status, or what is the temperature or whatsoever, you don't have enough data to make some decision, right? So that's why in our case, what we are offering is kind of gathering the data and making decision and making the management, right? So you get in data, you can do some decision like, okay, we're reducing here, we're reducing there, or vice versa, we are increasing here and reducing there. And then you make a kind of scenario or kind of management system according to that. For example, set some kind of temperature limit, or set some consumption limit or something like that, or change some old home appliances to the newer one with the lower power consumption and whatsoever. So it brings you like freedom of decisions and the freedom of actions. So first one is a smart radiator thermostat. This is the Wi-Fi one because we didn't expect a lot of thermostats per one premises. And if you like want to have it only one in your bedroom or something like that, so you can do that without buying a smart home hub, because the smart home hub costs money, and I think you don't want to buy this only because of the one thermostat you will have. So that's why these thermostats will be having on the Wi-Fi firstly. Then, of course, we're going to launch, I think in Q2 of the next year, we're going to launch the ZigBee version, because in some big premises, there's still need of multiple thermostats, but we will start from the Wi-Fi points, that's for sure. This is kind of point-to-point control, because you can connect it to any thermostat you like and any radiator you like, and then you can connect it to the whole system of the Mars devices. So you can see the real temperature in this room, for example. You can see the temperature of this radiator. So you can set some numbers like maximum temperature or heat to this temperature, or low down the temperature to these numbers. And basically with this one, you can control what's going on. So the heating is not like basically uncontrolled anymore. And actually the situation is like that. So you actually basically don't have to do it manual all the time, because maybe during the daytime you want to put it like on some 0 level. During the night when it's cold, you want to heat a bit more. So all the time you have to do it by hands normally, yeah? And all the time you have to remember not to forget to switch it off, right? But with this device, you can just set a schedule, for example, to make it 0 heating from the 8 at the morning to the, let's say, 8 at the evening. And during the night times, it could be like 2 points, 3 points, 4 points, whatever you like. So very convenient solution. And also it can be displayed some information, because you cannot see here, it's complete white, but with the LED lightning, which is showing you some numbers, like what is the temperature now, so you can plus it, minus it, or set it somehow else. So very easy and very clear for the settings. The same way we are managing with the boiler. So we have 2 types. All you know, there is 2 types normally of boilers, like electrical boiler, which is heating your house or home or premises using the electricity, and gas, which is normally heating your premises using the gas. And all of them are same, just the difference for which boiler is dedicated. And the idea behind that is to connect this thermostat to your boiler and basically to set the same, but for the whole premise. So you can also manage the whole premise on the temperature levels, on some kind of schedules or some kind of solutions which you like to apply to this exact premises. So you can remotely control it, you can remotely see it. Using our mobile application, you can do whatever you like. Yeah. Now about the smart detection. So we finally, like I said, need to gather some information from our smart home, because some information we can see ourselves, or we can feel ourselves, right? But some information we need to gather from other devices to make some smart devices working really smart. So for example, smart magnetic sensor, which we're going to have also very soon in the first quarter of the next year. It's already in the production. So it can help you either way to control your doors against the thieves and so on, or it can control your gates together with this smart relay. Yeah, so it could be like a wired magnetic sensors, and it could be these wireless magnetic sensors. So in case of these wireless magnetic sensors, it's much more easy, because you don't have to stretch the wires and so on and think about the power supply. So those magnetic sensors are pretty much independent, right? And if you're working with a smart relay, so that's fine, and you have a whole solution ended. So you're gathering some information from this magnetic sensor, and you're acting with your relay according to the information you got from there. Smart temperature, humidity, and light sensor. So this one can help you to get some information from the room where you don't have, for example, this radiator thermostat. So this radiator thermostat, for example, this one, yeah, it has built-in temperature control and the temperature sensor. But maybe you didn't have in your room this radiator thermostat, and you want to make sure that the temperature is still according to what you like to have, right? So it's hot enough or cold enough or whatever, right? So that's why you need this independent and autonomic smart temperature, humidity, and light sensor. So humidity is nothing to do with that so far from our side, but it's still like important information, because maybe you have to buy some additional home appliance to make humidity on the normal level. For the people is really important, especially in the winter months, like to have proper humidity in the house, because like heating, it can dry the whole air in the house, and it brings some problems with the health. So normal humidity is quite essential. And the light sensor, if you return back a bit to this smart curtain switch. So this is exactly perfect match for this smart curtain switch, because having the light level from this smart sensor, you can basically control this curtain switch. Yeah. So if you have a lot of light, so you can close the curtains. If you have less light, you can open the curtains, or vice versa. It depends on what scenario do you like to have, right? Because maybe you want to have more sun here, or maybe you want to close the shades to avoid more sun and overheating. So anyways, this smart sensor brings you some really essential data and important information of what you have at this moment. Yeah. And then you can act according to that. So it will be a new function in our mobile app, which called the scenarios. And it will be next year in the quarter, I think, 2. Yeah, so you can really relate some devices in our ecosystem and make some dependencies. Like if the light sensor see that light on the level like this, so then you have to do this with the curtain switch. So for example, if the light is like more than 30 lux, so curtain switch should be closed. This one, and another one should be open, for example, right? So we're gonna make some big work on that, and then you will have ability to make the scenarios, the smart scenarios, and really unleash the full power of the smart home, combining different devices all together. Like I said, so you have to remember how it should work in the normal way and how we are trying to do it working. It's like gather some important information, make some decision, and then manage something, right? So if you, like, for some reason, avoid one of those stages, so we cannot say it will be efficient, right? So it still could work somehow, no problem, and it will be working somehow for sure. But only those 3 points are making the key solution of the smart home really smart and efficient on 100%. So that's why this is the smart sensors, which can help you basically to gather important information to make some decision and manage your premises. Now about some new products, which is coming soon. So we didn't expect it sooner than the quarter 2. And that's why there is not quite much information about them, because we're still producing the housing, we're still producing the electrical part, we're still developing some things related to application. But what we know for sure that we will have them in the first half of the year 2023. So it will be for sure smart PIR sensor, because having kind of a door sensor like this, yeah, you will want to have some PIR sensor, to avoid basically some intrusion or something like that. So maybe you have a professional alarm system, not a problem, but maybe you don't want that, and maybe you didn't have that, and maybe you want to start from something more simple. So in this case, the smart PIR sensor can bring you some idea what's going on, right? And using our cameras, you can see what's going on, and then you can react it somehow, right? So it's not always you have to point to be pointed on some maximum or some professional level. So sometimes a small camera plus one small PIR sensor can do the job even more better than some complicated and overpriced alarm system. But again, we are giving some solutions, and we are giving some ideas to customers, and we are making some roadmap, which is basically roadmap of the smart thinking about the smart home. So this smart PIR sensor is the part of that. Now about the smart gas sensor, there is kindly not possible to manage your home in a smart way without controlling some important things, because first we've spoken about kind of let's say savings. So you can save on the energy if you will use it smart, and with the smart home devices we have, you can save some basically money on some other devices or rewiring or something like that. But there is also not only some points which is not only about the savings, but about the security and about risks, right? So it's kind of dangerous because you can save the electricity, but you have to be secure from the problems with the electricity. So you can save some money on the gas, which is feeding your boiler, but you have to be protected against the gas leakage and so on. So that's why we are also offering this kind of solutions, like protection and like avoiding kind of danger. So in this way, we're going to launch smart gas sensor and the smart gas valve, which can help you to close the gas. Not only like sometimes I'm really funny because some customers are telling, okay, I can see that there is a gas leakage, but I cannot do something because I'm on the holidays. So what's the point? And we all know about that, right? And not all the smart homes, unfortunately, they can offer a kind of relevant solution, but we're going to offer it as a combo. So if you have a problem with the leakage, so you have to bring solution how to avoid this leakage, not only inform, but like I said, we gathering the information, the first stage, right? So there is a gas leakage, you have this information, then you can have to do decision. So either call someone to solve this problem, or solve it yourself, or something else maybe, yeah. But if you want to solve it yourself, you have to go to the stage number 3 and manage it. But to manage it, you have to have this device. So that's why in the first stage, you need this smart gas sensor. On the second stage, you decide on what you want to do, for example, to manage it yourself. And on the third stage, you have a smart gas valve, which you can switch off the same way from the mobile application and make everything very clean and very easy result. And then you can call the gas firm or something like that to see what's happening. But anyways, you have all these abilities with this combo, right? The same situation with the water. So you will have a water leakage sensor and you will have smart water valve, because if you don't close the water, okay, you know that there is leakage. What else? What's the next step? Nothing. So if you are not at home, so you can do nothing. So that's why. Again, here, absolutely the same solution, absolutely the same idea behind. So collecting the information about the water leakage, for example, you have some camera to see and to prove that this is really like that. And then you just close the valve and your flat, your house, your office are safe from the water leakage. That's it. Then it's a smart smoke detector. So normally you also want to be protected from the smoke, from the fire and something like that. So it's also like a light, easy, cheap solution to have this nailed. And basically, if you like something more professional, you can always jump to that. If you want just to have some kind of, information just in case, so this sensor will make the job. So that's not a problem. And the smart circuit breaker. So some of the function of the circuit breaker basically can be done with the smart meter. But if you want to make whole your house really smart, so it's really easy to substitute your existing electrical circuit breakers to the smart circuit breakers, which can be also really nice and the powerful source of information and the data, because normally each your electrical line in the house or in the premises, which will be connected to a certain circuit breaker. So you will have all your house really visible from the power consumption point of view. Yeah, so you will see and you will divide all the devices, like outlets are using this kind of energy per month or per day or something like that. So like a light sourcing uses this kind of light consumption. This one is this one and so on. So it will be really nice to see all your house really transparent and clean from the energy consumption point of view using these smart circuit breakers. Or if you want to protect somehow your house, or if you want to basically make some decisions according to the situation, you can also switch it off, or you can switch it off and on remotely. And that's also bring you some power and some freedom of action. Yeah, so that's why this circuit breaker is another smart device which we're going to launch next year in the Q2, and which is going to really complement the smart meter and make the function even more powerful and even more advanced. So basically that's it. about what we are trying to say and about what we're trying to offer. So basically, that was kind of general presentation, the general webinar. So it's more about the marketing, about the principles, about how we see this system and solution gonna happen, let's say like this, right? And the second point is, I think, and I do believe it will be kind of a technical presentation, technical webinars, which will be dedicated for maybe some technical teams which you have. So for now, I told you about some idea behind of our systems. I told you about some principles on which we are building our smart home systems. So I do believe it will make your life easy when you're gonna have some meetings with the customers, when you're gonna try to sell it to someone. Because if you don't understand on what principles it's based and what it brings to your customer, I do believe it's extremely hard to sell, because you don't know, why customers should buy it, why customers should take it, and what it will bring to your customer actually. So I hope today we disclosed the main parts of the marketing and sales strategy, which should be there. And the next part, like I said, so I will kindly ask you to connect with our sales team to have some dedicated technical webinars, because basically we have two different parts of products. First part is already done, and the second part is the coming soon. So about the coming soon, there is not much to tell about, because we're still developing it. But about the first part, which is like a main part from this presentation, there is worth to speak about more, go maybe in some deeper details, arrange some demo kits and samples for you to test, to try, to see, to feel how it works actually. And starting from there, we can do this, pretty much interesting and a challenging road of the smart home together with us. Because like I said, so here in Partizan, our principle is to make the life more safe, more easy, and more beautiful for all of you and your customers. So that's why we try to make some complicated solutions more simple. We try to make some, hard decisions more easy. We try to make some, existing and complicated applications and solutions really more user-friendly. So now I will see what questions you have for me, and we can basically discuss. And now is the part of the questions answers. Okay, we have a requirement for this solar for GPTZ if it truly works through the UK winter. So basically the Czech winter, I do believe not much different comparing to the UK winter, if we are not talking about, of course, the seashore. But once we will have the samples, I'm happy to give to some really, really tough conditions. And I think we're going to have it before the winter end as a sample for sure. So as a pre-production sample, we can supply it to the hardest winter you can find, and you are free to test, no problem with that. Now, how many watts has a solar panel, and what is the capacity of a battery? So the capacity of the battery is different. So we do expect on the bullet camera to have a 10,000 mAh. So basically milliamps per hour. So basically we're gonna have this one as a solution. Yeah, on PTZ it will be something like 12,000. So basically the solar panel, they have 5 watts, so it's enough, like I said, to recharge the camera within a couple of days, within 1 week. But this camera with this kind of battery load is expected to be working a couple of months. So even if you have extremely bad weather conditions and not much sun, so I do believe it will be recharged after this time for sure. So that's work like that. Okay, Wi-Fi cameras are on with. Doorbell has a relay to open a door. First, Wi-Fi camera is not on with. It's our internal protocol, and it can be connected only to the mobile app we have. So if you need the on-with camera, so it's about the Partizan. If you need kind of a smart, easy, and light solution for the end customers, it's about the Myers. So it's really two different worlds, you know, and two different solutions, two different customer levels maybe, and that's why it's like that. About the doorbell, again, we have a more professional Myers doorbells what have a PoE sensor, and they have a relays, they have everything, but you should wire them because the relay normally requires a lot of power. And if you start to open and close the gate or barrier or door with the relay, which is inside the doorbell, so it means this battery powered doorbell will not last for a long time. So it will be maybe a couple of days at maximum, right? Because it will be extremely big power consumption from this side. So that's why one of the possible solution is to use our wire-free doorbell, battery-based, and plus our smart relay. So in this case, this doorbell will be wire-free, it will be battery-powered, and at the same time, the relay will be powered by the normal electrical cable, and it will manage the whole solution and the locks or something like that. And again, having this kind of scenario or widget, you can control those two devices from one screen. It will be launched very soon as well. So I think before the Q2, it will be released as well. So the two important new upgrades for the Partizan app, which we do expect, is to create the scenarios. It means the dependencies and relations between different smart home devices. And the second one is the smart widgets. Smart widgets, it means you can connect in one widget different devices from the Partizan and the Myers ecosystem. For example, you can connect at one screen the camera of Partizan, the Myers doorbell, and the Myers relay, and you can actually trigger them according to what you need. So that's two important things which we do expect in real near future. Okay. The UK wall socket depth, I don't have it in my head, but I think we're gonna send you the data sheet and information and you will see it. That's not a problem. Smart meter, only one phase, three phase, no. It's only one phase. It's not three phase so far, but we will think about to add maybe a three-phase function and three-phase solution later on, because we're gonna start like slowly one by one, point by point. So now it's only one. Okay, do we need to change switch from on off with button type for smart light switch? If I got you right, so you don't have to change switch from on off with the button type. So you have these buttons and you have our switch. So you can use them all together, either control it from the phone or control it from the buttons you already have. So if I got you right, so that's the answer. Is there alarm if not closed or open in some time period? So far there is nothing like that, but of course we're collecting some feedback from you guys, and if you think it's some necessary function, so basically there is no problem to add this. Same basically for the magnetic locks and same for the garage gate or something like that. So if you have some good idea, or if you need something like what we don't have, so please send us some ideas and some information. We are here to listen to you and to improve our application. And most of you guys, I think, already know that within like long period of time, we're collecting some ideas and we're implementing them in the life. So you can even see and touch and use your own ideas later on in our application. Is dimming possible for those lights? So we have basically dimmer switch. It's only 2 buttons so far. And yes, dimming is possible. Other option is how to have a dimming is to use the smart button scene switch. Okay. So if no more questions, I do believe, like I said, so the perfect way how to go is to jump into some dedicated technical webinars with our sales managers and our technical team. And basically, in this case, you can know a bit more and the complete information from the technical point of view. One more question. What about integration with the smart locks? With the smart locks, we don't expect to have some integration near time. But if you have a stupid locks, so there is very easy to make them smart with our relay, for example. So basically, the locks is the separate story, which we are maybe not ready to jump in at this moment. So a part of making kind of bad quality smart locks, we prefer to make good quality stupid locks more smart. So like I said, you can use the existing stupid lock with our relay and it will be smart. So that's not a problem then. You can see the whole lines and basically the whole ability you have here. Yeah. So here you can see all the lines and all the things what you can connect to this switch. I don't know if it's basically clear enough or not, because if not, I have to say hands on and forward this question to my technical team, because you know I'm not a technician, so I know something, but not that much deep in some maybe details which you need to know. So this is, like I said, so it's been it's had to be discussed with the technical team if you think it's nothing related to your question. Okay. So for air conditioner, FCU controlling is possible. Yes, it's possible with this one bay relay. So the relay can support up to 16 amps, because normally the air conditioner are consuming up to 16 amps. So in this case, you can use it with them. So no problem. So I think I have to say thank you, guys. So it was really nice to see you here. I hope very soon we can see each other face to face in some exhibitions, in our office, in your office, or something like that. So anytime, welcome here. Hope we're gonna meet very soon. I'm wishing you the best seasonal greetings, wishing you a really nice and happy Christmas, very nice New Year, and wishing you a best New Year coming up. And basically, we are staying in touch. I really hope we're gonna make some more presentations, more webinars near time, because we are really not, staying in the one place. We are always trying to do something. We are developing some things. So of course, sometimes it takes a long time because we have some limited power. But anyways, we are there, we are developing, we are doing some new products and some new items for you guys. And I really hope we're gonna see each other very soon. Next time with the new products, with the new opportunities for you and for us, and wishing all of you really nice sales and Happy New Year. Bye-bye.